disadvantages of being an ear player. You never need music. And ear players tend to be more creative. They, like Greg, they tend to have less inhibitions because they have more confidence. They know the tones that they want to come out, and they hear things that note readers don't generally. What are the disadvantages of being an ear player? No song in the brain, no music out of the instrument. If they don't know the song, how it goes in their head, they can't play. See? So generally, if we had a choice, we would pick both, wouldn't we? To be able to sit down, play by ear, and read music. Both of us. So when I met Greg, I had already started learning to play by ear. Greg was an ear player totally. So both of us wanted to work on the opposite talent. Greg had to start all over and learn to read music. He still doesn't like it because he's more comfortable over here. Okay? Me, I was raised with a teacher who taught me to read notes. I can play for the choirs, I can sight read. I'm pretty good at all of it. Put me over here in the ear department, I'm like 50%. I can play most general songs. Yeah, country songs that are, no-brainer. But I'm not real confident at the harder songs, the pieces that, and I had to learn the circle. I had to use a lot of mechanical things with my ear training, okay? And I had to start over too. I had to go back and learn it took me a month to learn how to play Happy Birthday with the chords and play it well. And then I realized ear players never play anything well. They just know how to cover it up because, no, really, if you really listen to an ear player, they're really not that good. They just are experts at the confidence level, and they play, and Greg is one of the few ear players that I know that is pretty close to never making mistakes. It's pretty rare that you hear him do anything bad. But once in a while, you do, and then you go, wow, I do have an ear. I can hear it. Now, whether you're a note reader or an ear player, if someone's bad, you can tell, can't you? Okay, that was a question.
Yes.
Can you tell?
Yes.
All right. Now comes the big question. You only get to be in one line. Okay? So, I'm going to ask you, how many of you would be in the note reader? Or how many of you would be in the ear player line? Okay, so here we go. How many of you would choose to be in the note reader line? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? How many of you would choose to be in the ear player line? Everybody else. More. Okay, there's 12 or so. All right. How come?
I think the ear player is probably more creative.
Well, my ultimate goal in this tunnel is to be a cocktail pianist.
Then you really almost have to be an ear player.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a cocktail pianist with a binder this thick?
No.
Some of them have them. They just show up with their fake books and sit there and go through their repertoire. But most really good cocktail players have the songs in their head. What'd you pick?
Oh, the thing with Jerry Lewis, he can't read a single note. And I love it when he played on guitar. He's done it for 50 years or more. He cannot read a single note. So this is interesting how you can pick it up without notes. I cannot comprehend that at this moment. How you play. And I have friends that play by ear. Oh yeah. Any instrument for that matter.
Yep. Once you start playing by ear on a piano or any other instrument, you can pretty much pick up anything. Once you learn the finger patterns, you can play just about anything. Now, here's the key though. It's guts. I have a shirt over there that says gut. A lady made it in my class. Was it you that made that? Anyway, I have a shirt that has a picture of the intestines and all the stuff. It says got guts. Because ear players have guts, confidence. And they literally, I'll bet you Greg put as many hours in learning how to play by ear as I did learning how to play by notes. It is a determination of what you're going to do. And I've seen little kids, if they want to play the piano bad enough, they will sit there and pick it out until they get it. My husband is an example. When he was 3 years old, his parents, they lived in Hawaii, went to buy a mattress at a mattress store. And you never know how things will form your life. But the guy that owned the mattress store had a tiny little red piano. And it only had probably that many keys on it, maybe 20 keys. And Cecil went berserk over that piano. He sat there playing it the whole time his parents were buying the mattress. And when they got ready to leave, he wanted to take that piano with him. Well, the guy obviously wouldn't sell them. His mother tried to buy the piano, but the guy wouldn't sell it to them. So when they got home, they bought a little toy piano for him, and he played it for about 2 years. He just sat and picked on it. His mom said he was literally playing songs. He didn't know what the titles were, but he was playing the songs in his head and just picking them out. When he was 5, they got a teacher for him, but they couldn't afford a piano. So he would go to the teacher's house and play on her piano and practice on a paper piano at home until he was 7, and then they moved to the States and they got a piano. But he wanted to play so bad that he was determined that he was going to get some music out of something. Now, you can do that too. Now, you're all sitting there going, I know, I can see your faces. I'm not going to be able to do that. And that's what I thought. The first challenge I had was one of my friends and I were playing a concert, and he told me after I learned all the songs that I had to not use music. I said, that ain't going to happen. I learned the songs, I could play them, but I got to have that music. He goes, oh, no, no, no. And I ended up in tears, crying. I said, I can't do this. He said, so you're going to learn to play by ear. So he took all my music away. We did the concert, and I used the music because I'm pretty much a control freak, and I was his boss. But the next week, he handed me a blank piece of paper and said, you will play by ear. You're going to learn one song at a time, and Happy Birthday was the first one. Now, Happy Birthday to You is pretty, everybody knows how to sing. He knew I had that song in my head, right? Now Michael Jackson owns the rights to it.
Yeah.
Well, he owned it. Now some of his family owns it. But he bought the copyright to Happy Birthday. That's why when you go into a restaurant now, they can't sing it anymore. They have to change the melody to Happy Birthday, Happy. They got to do something, but they can't sing Happy Birthday to You because he bought the copyright, so they have to pay royalties. So if they get caught by ASCAP, they have to pay this big fine. And ASCAP is pretty interesting. I mean, if you write a song, a good one, you get a lot of money. You get every time someone in our church, even every time someone in our church, we use a song that is copyrighted, they have to pay royalties to, especially if they videotape it. So it's pretty, restaurants and bars, you know, they got to be pretty careful about what they're singing and how they're using it. Now we come to Satin Doll. I think you all know Satin Doll, right? You know how it goes? Can you hear it in your head? All right, let's sing it. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You got it in your file cabinet. Now I sang it, and I'm not a very good singer, but it came out my mouth, and it's supposed to now transfer to my fingers. Could you go to the organs and pick it out?
Yeah.
If I gave you the first note, you could. That's all right. But see, the cool thing when you're an ear player, mistakes are cool. The mistakes are what make you sound so good. You don't believe me. All right, let's use Happy Birthday to You as an example, just for video purposes.